Hello, hello. This is Angela Brooks with Blogging for Profits podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 things that is a must know in network marketing for actions for building a thriving business. You know, there's so many different ways that people look at business, and you can critique it as unique as you want to. But in this dynamic world of network marketing, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by all of the different strategies and tools that are now at your disposal. Some of them are free, some of them are paid for. Usually, you get the better once you pay. Who wants to pay for dozens of programs when they don't know exactly how they're going to work for their particular business? So success often boils down to mastering just a few, very few fundamental network marketing actions. And in this podcast, I just want to kind of dive into the top 5 that I personally feel that you need to take to evaluate and elevate your business so that you can focus on fewer things and getting better results. You know, everybody talks about consistent social media engagement. It's the heartbeat of your online presence. And you know, we know this, but sometimes we just kind of like run out of ideas. And social media isn't just for selfies and food pictures, but it's a pivotal part of your network marketing actions that you put out there for people to find you and let them get to know who you are. So your social media platforms are where you can directly engage with your audience and build lasting relationships. There is not always going to be room for a business conversation on your social media conversations. And a lot of people think that when they are talking to somebody on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, that every conversation that comes out of their mouth should be about their business. And that's not true. That is building a connection. That person may not be your customer, but they may know somebody that would benefit from what you offer. And the sad part is most people don't even know what they truly offer. So how do you nail down consistent social media engagement? A lot of people like to do planned out calendars. You know, you plan your content in advance, and that's what you talk about on individual days. And planning your content in advance has its those that enjoy that kind of structure. I personally don't use a calendar. I have a flow of ideas constantly going through my head. So I have the content, but a calendar will allow you to create a cohesive narrative aligned with your post, with key events or launches that you're wanting to deliver, you know, the value that you're going to deliver. So more importantly, it's free for you to free up some stress, last minute scrambles, letting you focus on quality over quantity. And the biggest thing that people don't do is engage. Don't just broadcast your message, what you want people to see or hear, but you need to take the time to respond to every single message that comes to your page until you grow so big that you can't connect to them all. That's a nice problem to have, but the average person does not have that problem. And once you grow to that height in your business, then you would hire somebody to help you with your messages. I'm not there yet. I'm not giving up my social media to somebody else to run. I do have a team that's in the background that helps me with a lot of things, but they're not doing my social media right now. So it's just important to let people know who are commenting on your stuff that you see them and that you're authentic and that you're going to comment back. Because if you're not going to comment back, they're not going to be chit-chatty on your page, because there's no reason other than just leave a, one word thumbs up. They might follow your page, but it's a whole lot nicer when they know you're going to communicate. So monitor and measure what you're doing. Observe what gets people talking to you on your post. And once you know creating content is simple and the engagement is simple, it gets a lot easier. And I've got a little small PDF that I generated called Simple Conversations that just kind of gives people an idea of what they can do in conversations, how to respond. And it's not something that you copy and paste, but it's something to jog your memory and give you ideas of how to get people talking to you on social media. Because sometimes I look at people's pages and it's just total crickets. I remember when my page was crickets, and sometimes it still is. So this is just monitor what gets people moving. Whether a business post usually is not going to get as much conversation as a social post. So be yourself. People like real. They like to see who you are, not someone wearing a mask and somebody that's pretending to be some big famous person. Just be you, for heaven's sakes. That's plenty. You know, and I've met people at events that I have talked to on and off throughout the years online, and I felt like that I knew them. And then when I met them in person and they were completely different, like I didn't even like them. And I'm like, oh, so disappointing that that person was so different. And I've also met people at events where we've only chit-chatted on social, and you meet in person and you feel like you have known each other forever. And you go to lunch and you go out to dinner and you hang out during the event, and it's fantastic. So you can build whatever type relationship that you want to build. But my biggest suggestion for you, don't try to be more than who you really are, because if you ever go to events, they're going to notice. People notice. So another thing that number 2, I think it is number 2 is master the follow-ups with your CRM. You know, they always say the fortune's in the follow-up, and most people don't have a CRM. That can look like whatever you like. I am a Google Calendar woman. Oh my goodness. Everything happens in my Google Calendar. But I've also got a CRM inside of a app that I'm using called High Level. And it's got a CRM in it that as I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm putting their name in. Of course, I've got their phone number, email, whatever the conversation is, I am putting it into my CRM. Inside my CRM, when we're having conversations, especially if it's on the phone, is I'm taking notes. I'm writing notes in there so that the next time I talk to this person, I have that in front of me so that I can go, oh, and how is little Johnny's whatever, or how is Aunt Flo, or, you know, whatever. So that was something that Todd Falcone taught me several years ago. And of course, in my Google Calendar, or my Google, if I've had a conversation with somebody through my cell phone, my personal cell phone, I will go in, put their name, information, find them on Facebook, put their picture with that contact so I can see them. And I also leave notes if I know what city they're living in, if I know where they work, whatever, so that inside my Google contacts, I have an update about that person. And it also, I'll usually put little notes that'll say, you know, last time, where I met them, last time I talked to them. And that just keeps me on my toes, because we meet so many people in life that we don't always remember all the details. But when you talk to somebody and you bring up something from a previous conversation, I don't know about you, but it's pretty darn impressive to me. Todd Falcone is fantastic at that. I met him in person in Vegas, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. He walked in the room, saw me, called my name, and I was just like blown away, like Todd is calling my name. But I was just impressed, and we had a fantastic conversation with he and his wife about the CRM. You know, follow-up seems like a no-brainer. Network marketing, it is the number one thing that people don't want to do because they feel like they're bugging people. Well, you're not bugging them. You're reminding them, because people get busy. So, you know, choose the right CRM style for you. I have my suggestions. I I've got a blog post over on AngelaBrooke.com. You can find it underneath the title 5 Must Know Network Marketing Actions for Building a Thriving Business. And I've got my top 5 listed. So, if that's something that can help you, you can use those. You can find your own. Make sure you have a good CRM that doesn't just store customer information, but it helps you track the interaction, set up reminders, and even automates follow-ups to a point. So it's just a tool, and it's to keep you engaged in your business so that you don't let somebody slip through the cracks. Because back in the day of the Post-it notes, I'm a Post-it note ink pen fiend. I just absolutely love Post-it notes, and the more colorful they are, the better I like them. And good writing ink pens. But I used to have Post-it notes all over my desk, and I would have them in order of how I was up with somebody. And when I would follow up, I would toss it in the trash. That worked, but things always got lost. But a good proper CRM that helps you automate, reminds, it's a great tool to have in your business. I like to log in every interaction, every conversation that I have, even if it's not totally business. I put it into my CRM, and I stay in touch with those people until I realize either that's not somebody I want to work with, or that's not somebody that's ever going to become a customer. And you know that after several conversations, you'll know. And I either mark them that way, and some people I take completely out of my CRM. So that is something for you to learn on your own. I also like to set up reminders for follow-ups, because my tool will pop up and say, hey, don't forget to follow up with Billy Joe about whatever it was. It's nice to have reminders so that we stay in our business and not just kind of hanging out. Personalize everything. The more you speak to someone, the more you know about them. Calling them by name, or just your general conversation is very, very important in our industry. So review and refine. As I always say, rinse, repeat, tweak, and shift. There's no secret to our business, only consistency, showing up and testing to see what works for you. What works for me may not resonate with you and your followers. I have some fantastic people that follow me on the social world. The more snarky my comments, if we're out having a martini and I post a picture, or the dogs, or just anything in my life, they get to where they know who you are, and they appreciate the snark. Nobody gets their feelings all hurt, and I don't say things that are going to be hurtful to other people. But rinse and repeat. Find out what it is that makes people talk to you. The next thing, number 3, is list building. For lead generation, that's your business lifeline. Without leads, you have no business, period. So building a solid email list, this is another thing that people in network marketing don't want to build. And you're not in business until you have some of these things in place, because you've got to generate your own leads. You've got to go get them. They're not just going to flow to you until you build the path that comes back to you. It's like having a dedicated audience at your fingertips that's already raised their hand and said, yeah, I want more of what you've got. And then they get on your email list. If you never send them an email, they're not going to do business with you. They have raised their hand. They wanted the PDF, whatever the freebie was that you gave away that got them into your list. Now they want to hear from you. You've got to stay and not just create the lead magnet, which is a golden ticket, yes, for capturing valuable information for a potential customer. It's not just a freebie. It's a piece of high quality content that solves a specific problem for your target market, your target audience. And a lot of times, to me, when I got started, figuring out my target audience was the hardest part, as once you know who you're talking to, the conversation becomes simple because you start using words and phrases and conversation pieces that they're going, oh, me too. I get that. You know, when I started, I was just talking to nurses about my shift. And then people started piping in going, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one that got irritated at blah, blah, blah. Simple things will start conversations with people, and then they follow you. You can build ebooks, webinars, checklists. Simple 10-step checklists are very popular. People like them. They're easy to consume. It's also easy to build your list pretty effortlessly. When you find out what people want from you, then you just build your content around that need. And that is something that anybody can do who's willing to actually do it. And there's lots of tools that are simple to use. You don't have to have a lot of expensive tools to do that. And I do, on this blog post, I do show you the ones that I use and how to get them free to begin while you're learning. And of course, the longer you're on them, you're going to have to upgrade eventually. So setting up a landing page is like a digital handshake with your potential customers. It's the space where you can capture leads, offer value, and begin the relationship that kind of turns a curious visitor into a loyal follower. They want to know maybe what they connected with you might not be for them, but if they continue following you, a well-designed page can be the cornerstone of your network marketing strategy that enables you to segment your audience and tailor your messaging for a maximum impact. And then it is your job to promote. And once you've implemented your network marketing strategies, it's time to start shouting them from the rooftop. I have worked with several coaches and trainers, and generally speaking, when you're promoting something, and because promotion is where the rubber meets the road, period. And whether it's leveraging your social media, your email, word of mouth, effective promotion is what takes your carefully crafted message and puts it in front of the eyes that need to see them. And it's not just about visibility. It's about those targeted audience that reach, that converts. And most of the time you can build a landing page and just promote for, I'm going to say, up to a year for a lot. And sometimes they continue to flow for up to 2 years. I've had the same one for, I think this is going on 3 years, and it's still converting. So I haven't changed anything. I haven't tweaked it, but those are things that you tweak a little bit at a time and see if it'll keep going. Then it's your job to nurture the relationship, build a network marketing business that isn't just about making the initial connection. It's about nurturing the relationship long-term. And you transfer that one-time interaction into lasting partnerships by consistently providing ongoing value, staying in touch, and just being genuine. When you're interested in what your audience needs and you start listening and reading the comments, and when somebody says something significant about one of my lead pages, I will start using those particular words in my marketing. So it's not just good business. It's about creating a community that actually trusts and supports your brand, that is a true compliment when other people start promoting your stuff without you having to do that. So that's where I come into personal branding. You either stand out or you need to sit down. There's no in between. A lot of people come into network marketing and they want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. So hey, look, it's Michael Cooper. And your brand is what's going to set you apart in a crowded network marketing space. It's not ever going to be, excuse me, not ever going to be so full that nobody else has room to come in. It's that one network marketing action that can make or break your success. Excuse me. And I'm going to give you 3 ways you can really ace your personal brand. One is by defining your unique value proposition. That is your UVP. You'll hear people talking about that, your unique value proposition. And it's all about pinpointing what sets you apart from a crowded network. And for me, I have been a blogger since 2008. You don't run into very many people who are blogging these days. I do it every single week. I have a new post that goes up every week on angelabrooke.com. So the unique blend of my skills, my experience, my personality, your story is yours. There's nobody that can tell the story about who you are except you. When you really start dialing in, they don't want to know the nitty-gritty, painful stuff. You talk about it without giving personal details. You know, some people go way deep into personal. I have some, but I don't choose to. So you can clearly articulate your value and attract the right audience, but also brand you authentically. I'm a blogging nurse, and that's what people know about me. If you've never read my story, you know, go over to angelabrooke.com about me, and you can read my whole story. I built my first business at the baseball field, at the soccer field, while I was carting my boys around to practice in games. And while they were at practice, then I would use my social media and talk to people. And that's how I built in the beginning, because back in the day, Facebook was the place to be. And now it's a busy world, so you have to come at it a little bit different. Number 2 is visual consistency. Visual is the practice of maintaining a uniform look and feel across your brands, like having your same profile picture on your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, so that no matter what platform that they come to, they see, oh, there she is, and they recognize it because it all looks the same. Some people want to have all these crazy names, and it needs to be your first and last name on any social platform that you use. And you need to have the same profile picture. If you update one, you need to update them all so that people recognize you. That is your brand, and that's how you become trusted when they become so familiar with you that you pop up everywhere. Your visuals are what people connect with the easiest. And number 3, share your story. Sharing your story isn't just about narrating your journey. It's also about connecting on a human level with your audience. Your story allows people to see the real on the brand, building an emotional connection, and by just being open about your experiences. And not everybody wants to post the hard stuff. They only want to post their wins. Well, if I only posted my wins, I may not have near as much content. But when I go out there and I say, you know, we did this program and it flopped terribly, so we're going to go in and we're, you know, redoing a program, and people resonate with that because they're like, oh, I'm so glad you said that. What did you do to fix it? You know, those are simple conversations that people relate to because, oh, the winds are beautiful, and you know, being on the high mountain is fantastic. But people also want to know, how did you climb the mountain? Did you fall? Did a few rocks fall out from under your feet? They want to hear all of it, not just your wins and how you're making millions of dollars without any hiccups. We all have hiccups from the moment you say that you're in business, you're going to have hiccups. So the last one is value-driven content, which I've talked quite a bit about already. And it's just how to succeed in value-driven content is to know your audience. Choose the medium that you like to work. And I know a lot of people want to get on Facebook, or they just want to do Instagram. I highly suggest you get on more than one. Mine are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you are not connected to me on any of those platforms, please come over, connect with me, and let me know that you read the blog post or that you heard me here on the podcast, because I am talking to 3 completely different audiences from Facebook, which is more to know you platform. Instagram is very visual, and LinkedIn is my business people. So there's 3 different platforms of audiences that I am growing, and you get to pick which ones that you particularly like. And you'll notice I didn't say TikTok. I just don't care for the platform. So I'm over there. I have some stuff up, but it's not where I hang out that much. So you pick what makes you happy. And that's where you need to show up, and you don't have to post different content on every single platform, but my content from Facebook, when I put it on LinkedIn, I will tweak it over here a little bit versus just copying and pasting it over. So plan and schedule. Planning, if you know, that's what creates a lot of success for a lot of people, especially if you need to stay focused and you need a plan. Set up a planner. There's a lot of them out there, and I've got some listed over on the blog post that might be for you. And then you're going to measure and tweak the strategies that you're using. Monitor for key performance indicators that give you a clear picture of what's working and what's not working. And don't underestimate the power of simple, small tweaks and changes to your call to action when you're posting, so that you're building engagement and conversation. You know, it's all about continuously improving what we're doing. This is not something that you just master and you never have to stop doing. We're always tweaking what we do. So just understand that that's an ongoing business skill that we all have. Again, over on AngelaBrooke.com, underneath the blog post, 5 must-know network marketing actions for building a thriving business, I've got a personal toolkit for what I have used for my network marketing success. I've got digital software that I use, my Grammarly that I love to use for writing and suggestions. And of course, if you haven't heard of ChatGPT, it is phenomenal to use. That is something that I'm going to be talking. This blog post, this podcast is Blogging for Profits. My new coaching program is going to be Knowledge to Profits, where I'm going to be teaching all the software that I use, where I come up with my content, how do I use social media. And of course, my coaching is not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for those that's willing to learn and apply everything to get results. People that can think up 1,000 excuses of why it's not going to work for them. This is not for you. So don't be confused on when you're getting coaching and you want to skip the struggle. Then I'd love to set up a discovery call and have a conversation. You'll find that over on the blog post as well. But if you're hearing me on this podcast, come on over to LinkedIn or Facebook, find me and let me know what you walked away from today. And I will see you on the next podcast. This is Angela Brooks from AngelaBrooke.com, and I will see you there.